Happy Friday. Happy Friday, everybody. It looks like we're going to have a nice crowd here, even though it is a Friday. And I hope that you all are ready to do some drawing. I wonder what kind of food you all are having as comfort food in these interesting times. We're having lots of spaghetti at the house, but we're also eating a lot of things we normally don't eat so much, you know, fries and burgers and things like that. And just let me know in the chat what kind of comfort foods you all are eating right now. I'm sure there's a lot of fun stuff going on in the kitchen. And yeah, it's a good time to just pig out, isn't it? It's fun. Actually, interesting fact about French fries. The first French fries were actually not cooked in France. They were cooked in Greece. How about that? All right, well, I think it's time for us to do a little drawing. So why don't we get right down to it? Today, all you need is a pencil, a pen, a marker, a crayon, a stick, like I always say. It really doesn't matter, as long as you can make a mark, right? And we are going to start out by drawing things that you all know how to draw, like straight lines and curves, sometimes an S-curve, sometimes a little zigzag, or just a zig, like so, okay? And we are off to the races. Here you go. Now just follow what I do, and we're going to be in good shape. So step number one is you're going to draw a line straight across like that. Not too long, right? And then you're going to interrupt that line with a little C-curve that goes like that. Okay. Now, on the other side, another C-curve that goes like that. And then, watch this, up and around, and I'm going to connect with that first one. That's an interesting shape, right? We were talking about French fries and food. It kind of looks like dough to me. Or maybe just a cloud or something like that. Hey, everybody. Hi. Hey, Howard. Hi, Michelle. Hey, Peggy. Steven, thanks for joining me, folks. All right. Oh, that's right. It is Thursday. I said happy Friday. Do you know why I said that? Because I'm not going to be doing the show tomorrow. No, because tomorrow I'm on holiday. So you'll just have to go back and watch one of the earlier episodes. All right, let's carry on with the drawing. Now, here comes a vertical line. We're going to come straight down like that. And then same over here. Straight down like that. Same length. Okay, and then I'm just going to come across like that. Any guesses as to what we're drawing? I bet you can't figure it out just yet, but we'll see. A lot of people out there are really, really clever, so I don't want to take anything away from you. Okay, watch this now. We like to give ourselves a spot to aim for. We do that with a little dot. So I'm going to put a dot in the center of this rectangle, coming on down to about there. All right. And then I'm going to connect to that dot by carrying this line down and then just kind of curving it like so. Same on the other side. I'm going to come down and curve it, and bam, there you go. Okay, now here comes another interesting little bit, and zoom in so you can see this. Right about here, I'm just going to come out and C-curve in. Going to look at that mark there and come to the other side, try and make it pretty much symmetrical. Come out, C-curve in. Okay, now we might have given away what we are drawing. It might become apparent to some of you what's going on here. Ready to do some curls. Here we go, curly curlies. We're going to go curly, 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 curly. All right. Coming out the other side. Curly, 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 curly. Bam. There are some nice curls. Okay, now, here comes the next step. I want you to, right about here, just do a little C-curve. Okay. Let's see what we got here. A chef. Yes, Twee, you got it. It is indeed a chef. All right, now, speaking of curlies, watch this. This is going to be less of a curl, but more of sort of a 1, 2, 3. I'll do it out to the sides. You can see it bigger. 1, 2, 3. Okay, it's kind of like a W and then a U. All right, and watch how I do that right here. 1, 2, 3. See that? And we're going to do another U off to the side here. U. And then off to the other side. U. Okay? And now, curly, 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 curly. There is your happy chef. Okay, but we're not done yet. We have to give the chef a body, and there's more stuff we're going to draw. So, coming down this way, watch. I'm going to draw a straight line down. Okay, you ready? It's going to come down this way, just like that. Alrighty, and then now, down off to the side, we're going to go 1 and a 2. Okay, make that a little longer. There you go, that looks good. And here I'm going to do just a diagonal like that. I'm not going to touch the middle, and like that. And that's that collar for the chef. All right, now coming back up to the hat, watch this little detail work. We're just going to do some vertical lines. And that's all you got to do. Couldn't be easier, right? And watch this. 1, 2, 3. That just shows that that material is puffing out. All right. Now we're going to do the arms. And we're going to do this in a way where I'm going to draw straight out, about like that, on one side. Do the same thing on the other side. Now, if you need to give yourself a place to aim for, remember you can make a little dot. Say, okay, now I know I got something to shoot for. There, bang. That's what I want to do. Okay. All right, now we're going to draw some circles, or well, they're more kind of like ovals, but here you go. I'm going to do it right about here. Oval number 1, it's going to be about that big. Can you all do the oval? Yes, you can. Now I'm going to draw 3 lines, and watch how they go. They're at an angle here. 1, 2, and a 3. And what we've just drawn is a hand facing us like this. Okay, now this hand is going to be holding a spoon. And all I have to do is draw a line coming out this way, and then draw an oval like that. I'll just have the handle of that sticking out the back of her hand. Okay, and then here comes a curve up to the elbow, and just a straight line back that way. And that is arm number 1. Now, arm number 2, same thing. Watch. I'm going to draw an oval. Here it comes. Oval. About the same size as the first one. And then a 1 and a 2 and a 3. Okay. And for this one, we're going to put a line here and a line there. And then come down this way and come down that way and connect them. So it looks like she's just holding a rectangle, but it is not a rectangle, as you shall see. All right, now I'm going to take this line and I'm going to curve it up and under to connect with that rectangle. Watch. Up and under. And then same up here, little line back, like that. Everybody with me so far? Am I going too quickly? Let's see. Boyardee, haha, nice, I like that. Chef Boyardee. Okay. Are you ready? Here it comes. I'm going to continue to draw this line down a little farther. Okay, and then a little farther. What I want to do is get past that spoon. See that? I want to get past that spoon. And that looks pretty good to me. So now I'm going to cut it off. I'm going to draw a line like this. Kind of about right in the center of that line. Okay, and then come down some more, like so. And again, like so. Give it a little curve. Give it another curve on this side. And connect those together. And there we have a pot. And watch the handles of the pot. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to come up with a little loop. On the other side, up with a little loop. See that? And here comes something fun. It's going to be the spices. I'm just going to make a line like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, and a 1, 2. See that? If you want to do a little 1, whoop, off to the side, sure, why not? Doesn't matter, right? So we're putting some spices in whatever this chef is cooking. Now, I'm going to put a line off to the side here, like that. Come to the other side and do the same. And that gives us our cooking surface, okay? And finally, here come some lines, slightly diagonal down that way. All right, that's step number uno. And then over here, same thing, off to the side, like so. And if you want, you can give the chef some seams, like that. Now, here's a nice detail. A little line across here, a line across here, and a line across here. So we can enclose or attach one side of the coat to the other. Easy peasy. All right, now watch this action line sequence because we love the action lines. C curve, and C curve, and a C curve. And now we know this chef is busy in the kitchen making something delish. Finally, for the pot, what you want to do is this. Watch. 1 and a 2. Just a couple of lines like that show that this is a metal surface and it's reflecting something. All right, now anything else you want to do to make this your own drawing? Well, of course, you can color it. You can change the style of the chef's face or hair or the actions that they're doing with their hands, or you could give them a kitchen background, right? Totally up to you. You could have them doing something else instead of cooking with a pot, right? They could be stirring something, or they could be baking something, up to you. But that is our happy chef, and that is the draw along portion of the show. You draw it and you drew it, and I bet it looks fantastic. We're gonna move on to a who made that. So this is when I show you a little peek at a piece of work by somebody. And you have to say to me in the chat who you think made it. Maybe you recognize the artist and you can say to me, hey, I know who that person is. And if not, doesn't matter. We're here to get educated and look at some cool stuff together and learn about artists. So there is the hint. There is the hint. Who made that? So take a look at it. I think for a lot of you, this will be a familiar looking face, but maybe not in exactly the same context you've seen it before. But this is a very well-known artist, and many of us know this artist from our childhoods. Maybe some of you already know this artist because you are looking at some of this artist's work currently in your life. One of my favorite artists, and an artist who certainly shaped the way I think a lot about drawing. So let's take a look at this and see what we have. All right, I'm gonna check the chat and see if we have any guesses. Oh, this is making you hungry? Now you're starving. That's the thing, if you're on the East Coast, it's starting to get a little close to dinner time. So me drawing as chef is probably not helping with you wanting to go and make some food in the kitchen. I apologize. All right, I'm not seeing any guesses for this artist, which means I'm going to have to reveal it to you. Oh, wait, there we go. Deb. Yes, and Twee. Both. The very first two guesses were right on the money. This is, in fact, Maurice Sendak. However, what's cool about this drawing is it is not one of the drawings that you've seen in his books. So why don't I just go ahead and reveal to you the full drawing. And it's a beauty, so let's really admire this. I'm going to zoom in so you can really see this lovely, lovely drawing by Maurice Sendak. So there you see the main character in the book, right? And then you see the wild things here. You recognize these faces. But you might notice this is a pencil sketch, right? And so you're not usually seeing this kind of work from an artist like this. You're usually seeing the finished artwork in a book. But all the artwork that you admire in picture books and that you've seen with paintings on the walls and so on, the artists always do a preliminary sketch of some kind. They sketch these characters a lot to figure out how to draw them, and they do a lot of pencil drawings before they use inks or watercolors or other kinds of medium to create the final art that you're used to seeing. And here is a beautiful, beautiful pencil drawing by Maurice Sendak. So Maurice Sendak, as you can see here, was an American artist born in 1928, lived all the way until 2012. And he did so many picture books and had over 6,000 illustrations in over the span of his career that were donated to a museum. And but they bring out these drawings from time to time for people to admire and look at. And what's interesting about this drawing is it was not actually done for the original Where the Wild Things Are book. It was actually produced in 1997 when they were going to do some advertising for an anniversary of the book. And so they wanted to have a few original drawings by Maurice Sendak of these characters that he'd done previously. And this is one of the sketches that he did for one of those ads. And it's a gorgeous one. But it's really cool to see how an artist thinks through things with pencil. And I love that off to the side you can see over here that things are left unresolved, right? Because the area that you see in the rectangle is where he really had to figure things out, because that was the area that was going to be ultimately printed. So this other stuff just kind of sits out there in the corner, and he could get to it later, but the meat of the drawing is all within that rectangle. And he even goes so far over here to think about dark and light, not just line work, but he's got some darks and some lights in there. We call that values. So this is a gorgeous drawing by Maurice Sendak, and I wanted you to see the kind of work that artists do before you actually see the final illustration that you're all familiar with. Alrighty. Another book, by the way, that he did that I loved was In the Night Kitchen, which my mom read to my brother and me when we were teeny tiny, 3 years old, 4 years old, every night before bed. And that one really stuck out in my head as well. Great story, great drawings. Alrighty, so we're going to move on to animal and activity. Now, the animal activity is where you suggest an animal and a crazy activity, and I have to try in just a few minutes to draw that animal doing that activity. All right, so it could be, I guess, a monster, since we're looking at monsters right now. Monster riding a unicycle, for example. Monster reading a book. Maybe that one's not quite as interesting. I want you to come up with something more creative than that. But I'll check out the chat and I'll see what kind of ideas you have for me to draw an animal doing some kind of a crazy, weird activity, okay? These are always fun. And yesterday we had a lion. And the lion was, I'm trying to remember what the lion was doing, playing the accordion. That was a challenging one for me because I was trying to remember in my brain, what does an accordion really look like? And I knew there were buttons on one side and keys on the other. But that was a good challenge. It turned out fine in the end. So I'd like to see what you want me to draw. I'm going to check out the chat and see what we have here. A monster knitting. Oh, that's pretty cool. I like that. A wombat making a martini. If I could draw a wombat, I would do that. Except I have no idea what a wombat looks like. I need to look that up. A porcupine making pancakes. I love that. I love the porcupine making pancakes. A Yeti water skiing. That's really fun too. If you guys would stop with it, the suggestions are all too good. It's impossible for me to choose. So far, my favorites are a porcupine with the pancakes, Yeti water skiing, a falcon piloting a plane. Whew, that's a tough one, Twee. Golly. I might have to have more than 5 minutes to draw that one. Monster unicycling down a hill. That could be pretty good, except I don't want that monster to get hurt. I hope he's a skillful monster on that unicycle. All right, well, it's time for me to get going, so I need to get started on a sketch. Why don't I hide this? You're going to go away for a moment. Goodbye. And I'm going to clear my space here for me to do a sketch. And now the time has come for me to make a decision. So, an octopus playing a guitar with 4 necks. We did an octopus doing something a couple weeks ago. Monster taking a nap in a cloud. A goldfish dancing ballet. A turtle making a sandcastle. These are all fantastic. Oh my goodness sakes. I'm going to do the Yeti water skiing. Yeti water skiing. That's the one for today. I just feel it. Feeling like that's going to be a good one. So here we go. Okay, Yeti. Yeti water skiing. Oh my gosh. What have I gotten myself into here? Okay, so we are going to have Yeti. I know their faces are pretty funny. I mean, I guess a Yeti face could be whatever I want it to be, frankly. I mean, not like we've ever seen any Yetis, have we? Or I haven't, for sure. Have any of you seen a Yeti? I'm going to have his mouth open. Arrgh! Don't forget, folks, sound effects help. Sound effects help. All right, so we're going to have his arms out here. He's going to be holding on to... what do you call it? The handle, I guess? I've never done water skiing myself. Any water skiers out there? All right, let's give him some space here. We're going to have that rope coming straight out. And I'm going to give him some like really funny little short legs. Like that, but gigantic feet. By the way, saw a really nice movie last year with a Yeti. Having trouble remembering what it was called, though. Did any of you see that animated movie that came out where they find the Yeti in the city and then they go to return it to where it lives? It was really cute. Kids loved it. I loved it. That was a nice one. Anybody know what I'm talking about? What was the name of that movie? Help me out in the chat, folks. Let's see here. Sasquatch Solo. Yes, Yeti. Okay, woohoo. Yeti getting spaghetti in the Serengeti. Hey, hey. That's a good little rhyme right there, folks. This is what I like about this audience. Everybody is just so creative. Can you imagine if people were just giving me suggestions like, you know, a dog taking a nap? Holy cow. I mean, I'd still draw it, but this? A Yeti? Water skiing? That's way better. Okay. How's that look, folks? What do you think? Is that Yeti enough for you? Got the Yeti kind of a look? I think I'm good to go here. And I am going to switch over to the final line work. So I'll shrink him down a little bit. He's getting a little big there. There we go. And here we go. So I'm going to just lighten the opacity there. And just like a light table, stick that on my light table. And I'm ready to go to town with the line work. Whew, I've only got a few minutes. Here we go. 1, 2. And pop that out like this. Now, one eye there, one eye there. And we are going to have him come up and around with the face. Have some little teeth there, little teeth up top. And then his big ears off to the side. Okie dokie. Hair coming out the back. Notice how I'm making the hair go the direction that it would be blowing, because he's moving at a fast speed, right? There's one big foot right there. And here comes the other leg. And that other foot's going to be coming out back there. Big toe right there. Whoop. And another toe, and another toe, and another toe, and another toe. And some toenails. Okay, and then here comes this first arm. 1, 2, 3, and 4. I'm racing the clock, folks. Racing the clock. Gotta get this done. This is always the challenge. Try and make these look halfway decent in the span of 5 or 6 minutes. Sketch and all. Okay, there we go. And finally, ski number 1. Zoom out so you can see that. Woo! A little wider. There we go. And ski number 2. Whoops. There we go. Perspective, Kyle. Gotta remember your perspective, right? And here comes the water splashing out all around like that. Splashy, splashy, splashy. And maybe Bigfoot, the American version of the Yeti. is the person driving the boat, right? Who knows? I just think that's fun. Now, before somebody gets on me about safety, I can strap his feet in. Don't you worry. And woof, there is that string. And there is something like a Yeti, I guess. No idea how to draw a Yeti. Water skiing. Ta-da! Holy cow, I tell you, that took, 3 or 4 minutes? Whew, the pressure was on. Okay, folks, thank you so much for hanging out with me again. I'm not drawing tomorrow for the show, but I will be back next Wednesday. So I hope you all have a great weekend after tomorrow. And thanks for hanging out with me. And we're going to do this again next week. Remember, you can watch the old episodes if you want to draw something else. So no worries there. And until then, everybody stay safe, stay healthy, be happy, do some drawing. It'll do you some good. And I'll see you next time.